let's go, because he's a difference maker, and he's obviously proven, and he's done it at a very, very high level. So I'm really anxious. We were all talking about it, to get him in our scheme, and I've watched him, and really liked what he's done throughout his career. Liked him coming out of college, and he's a hell of a player, and he's really tough to tackle, and he's got speed to take it to the house all the time. So like, again, anytime you can add a guy like that to the roster, you're jumping up for joy as a special teams coach.
It's obviously early, but what's kind of just your process for evaluating the two punters and what you want to see and ultimately making a decision?
Like you said, it's really early, right? But you want to put them in the pressure situations and see how they handle it. We're rotating days, and we're kicking, a little, trying to get more reps so we get more on tape, and trying to do the best job we can at evaluating, and then we'll choose one from there. And they're both doing a nice job. Both have strong legs. It's just the consistency that you look for, and so that's going to be the key is how do they perform in the preseason games and things like that. And just like any other position, it's all how they perform in the preseason.
Is there any difference with a left-handed holder versus a right-handed holder for kicker?
No, because it's all based off the kicker. They've got to line up the one way. So I think that they're both doing a really good job. Both are smooth holders. Both have had an extensive work at holding, so and that's why we brought them here. They've done a nice job so far, and Eddie's comfortable with both of them.
I don't know how many rookie punters you've had in your career, but I'm going to guess that none of them were 27 years old like Jack Bomeister is. I mean, do you see a typical rookie with him, or can you tell that he's had experience?
Well, I think he's a very mature guy. He's doing a super good job. And so both of them are. Like I said, I think that you go out and you try to find the best guy that you can, no matter what their age is, to compete, right? And because they're going to have to be relied on to help us win games. And I think that Jack is doing a nice job of competing in this competition, and I think that the longer we can see him, the better. Now, can the roster handle both of them for that long, depending on injuries and stuff like that? We're trying, obviously, you try to want to keep them for as long as you can to see him in more games and things like that, so hopefully we can do that.
Brant, the rookie Pauling seems to catch the punts pretty naturally. How do you see that competition back there?
There's a handful of guys, and to be honest with you, hopefully somebody emerges. I think, Cowling, Pauling, Watkins, all those guys are back there. Junior Bergen. So there's a big handful of guys, and hopefully they can make great decisions and catch the ball first and foremost, and that's what's most important. Pauling's got a really good skill set. There's a lot of guys that have good skill sets. It's a matter of can they make the right decisions? Can they block a gunner when they're supposed to? Can they let a ball hit the ground when they're supposed to? Can they go up and catch a fair catch it when they're supposed to? There's a lot more that goes into it than just returning the ball. But I think that those guys that we're trying to find the guy that has the whole package that we can count on every week, that can catch the ball and make great decisions.
How different is this training camp for you compared to last year when you're not sure what the kicker situation was going to be, and now you have Eddie who's entrenched in the position now?
There's a lot of things that is different about this year, obviously, but specifically Eddie. I think that there was so much going back and forth on what was going to happen and things like that it's good to have a guy that has done it for me before and for quite a while. So he did a great job last year and couldn't have done a better job. So he's worked on some things this offseason. I think he's come pretty far in quite a few things. He's worked on his kickoffs, and you can tell he's worked in the offseason despite getting his contract, and I was happy as hell to see him get paid for his work. He's worked a long time and stuff like that, but I'm really happy for the guy, and I think that everybody knows that they can count on him, and so it's in a good situation. But as far as me coming last year and being in the second year of the system, everything, all the schemes, what Colt and Ronnie do a great job of helping me with, all the schemes, all the stuff, they've been in that for a year. So where we are on punt team and our return schemes and everything are way ahead of where we were last year. And so, you know, they have experience of all the situational stuff that I'm giving them. So it's, you know, it's a welcome relief, that's for sure.
You mentioned Eddie getting paid. Did you have any moments of worry that might not get done? What was kind of like when you found out that got done?
I've lost too many in the past to not worry about it. So yeah, you always worry when, you know, but you're always, you know, as a coach, you know, my whole deal is like, I want to see these guys succeed and I want to see them get paid. And, you know, that's what they're in the business for. And so, you know, I've had guys, I mean, Jason Myers, and you could go down through the list that I've lost, you know. But, you know, as bad as it hurts you, you're happy to see them, you know, that they succeed and have great careers. And you know, was I happy to have Eddie back? Hell yeah, you know, because you know what you're going to get all the time. And so, you know, plus he's such a good guy and good guy for the room and stuff like that. So I was happy to get him back. But anytime specifically you're trying to, you know, one of your main guys is up for a new contract, you know, you hope you get paid, but you hope you can, you know, that you can retain him as well.
Eddie had talked last year about how he had not, you know, up until last year, he had attempted tons of 50-plus yard field goals, and how there had been a lack of confidence from previous teams. Did he surprise you with his leg strength just because it hadn't been out there that much?
No, because I've seen him for so long, you know, having him at the Jets and stuff like that. So I had no worry about his leg strength, and you know, evaluating him coming out of college too. You know, his leg strength is not an issue for me at all.
What is maybe difficult about judging punters in practice? You talked about putting them in pressure situations. How much can you really do that before you get to the games?
I mean, you're right. It's really hard to simulate, right? Because it's, you know, it's the game situations and how are they going to react when it's easy to do out here on the field, but how are they going to react when there's 75,000 people watching you in a national TV game or something like that? So you try to put them in situations like the, you know, 2-minute situations and things like that. How good a holder are they in, you know, whatever it is, you're trying to put them in situations that they'll be facing in these preseason games, and then you try to evaluate them from there. And then, you know, when they do get the preseason games, you know, how do they function? Are they, you know, are they super nervous in pregame? Are they super nervous when you ask them, hey man, the game's on the line here, you know, we got to do this? And do they execute it when you ask them to? And that, you know, so it's really hard to simulate that in practice.
All good?
Thank you guys.
Hola.
Jair, how's camp going for you so far?
Camp is going great. My favorite camp, honestly, since I've been here.
Why is that?
I love this scheme. Sorry. I love this scheme. I love the teammates I got. I'm comfortable this year for me. And honestly, I'm having fun, bro. Having fun. And I can't remember the last time I had this much fun.
Some of the other DBs have talked about how Raheem has kind of stripped away some of the, just hard to grasp details, just made it easier to grasp, I suppose. Can you do you feel the same way, first of all, and if so, can you kind of enlighten us on what that means?
Absolutely. Raheem's dope, bro. Super dope. He wants football players, previous schemes we've been in haven't wanted that, Raheem wants you to play football. He wants instinctive players. He wants guys who can just, get out there and play ball and read the quarterback. So scheme fits all of us, man, and it's been great to see us transition into this explosive D-back unit.
When you said that the scheme, or you like this system, or what is it about it that you like so much?
Me personally, it fits more into my strong suits, reading a quarterback, being reactive, let my instincts take over. Probably the best part of my game. So that's what I love about this scheme over the last schemes I've been in. Whoops is a lot similar, but yeah.
How hard was it for you the last couple of years with it not being fun to be out there?
I wouldn't say it wasn't fun the last couple of years. I'm always having fun, out there with the players, that I'm out there on the field with, because it's a war out there, honestly. And whenever you're out and having a war and on a battlefield with all your guys, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's always going to be fun, dealing with that adversity together, dealing with the highs and the lows. It comes with great memories, man, and you always enjoy those times. This year, just a little different, with a better scheme. I like it.
I think today you had a play in the red zone where you broke up a pass intended for Jake.
Mm-hmm.
That Brock threw. Were you reading Brock, or did you read the route?
I think I was man-to-man coverage there on the backside. Jake tried to run a deep over, kind of ran it down, made a play on the ball for the team. Yeah.
In the past with this team, we've kind of heard that the safety positions are almost interchangeable. The free and strong, maybe not so specific. Is it a little different? Is it maybe a little more separate between the free and the strong this season?
No, we're pretty much interchangeable. We pretty much do the same jobs. I can go in the boundary, I can go on the field. They're pretty much the same jobs, either way. But yeah, they're pretty interchangeable.
Jair, how much have you enjoyed having Dre back?
Man, Dre, Fred, man, all those guys, man. But Dre, man, bro, he was the enforcer, man, when in 23 when we went to that Super Bowl run. And his energy, his passion, his aggression, bro, it feeds the whole defense, man. So super dope to have him back, man. It gave me a lot of memories being out there with him. And that's been one of the funnest parts about this year.
With Dre and Debo back, does it feel like you guys have some unfinished business from that group you're mentioning?
It is. It definitely do feel like that. We know we came up short in 23. All these guys, man, and the good thing about it, they got something to prove. Debo has something to prove. Dre has something to prove. And not to nobody else, not to no outsiders, more to theirself. Me as well. So for all of us to be fighting, for something personally, but also as a whole, for the team, it's pretty dope to see, man. It's gonna be dope.
Was it about, maybe the last year's defense or previous year's defense that maybe didn't suit your strengths as well, in your opinion?
I'm not going to even go there, man. And what happened last year is what happened last year. Could things have been better? Of course, but I'm not going to, hold nobody accountable to that. I'll just hold myself accountable and take whatever come with that. But what happened last year was last year.
Jair, how much fun has it been able to go against Mike Evans, and what does he bring to that wide receiver room when you guys are facing them?
OG Mike, man. Mike dope, man. I remember when we first got here, I brought up a rep we had my rookie year in the red zone. Cover zero rep I had against him, man. And, he's been dope to work with, man. He got a lot of old tricks, man, and been absolutely helping us get better as a defensive unit. And seeing him out there is dope, man. Watching him make plays, watching him run routes. He's his all-time pro, one of the best receivers to ever play the game, man. And it's a privilege to be out there on the field with him.
You're going into a contract year. Is that something you allow yourself to think about, or you just focus on what you do on the field, let that take care? What's kind of your approach to this year?
Focus on what I take. Like, when I get out on that field, man, I don't think about none of that. I'm literally out there. I'm having fun, man. I can't think of nothing outside of it's so detailed. This game is so detailed and so one-play focused that your mind just has to be on the day, the moment, the now, So that stuff, I don't even worry about that. I'm here to play football.
Jared, how do you know, you took some public criticism from some ex-players this year in the offseason. You got a lot of people who want to grade you, judge you, evaluate you. How do you block out some voices and hear others? How do you compartmentalize that whole thing?
It's something we do as humans, We like to judge and, put our own perspectives and our own opinions on others. Whether they're completely wrong or completely right, everybody feels like their opinion should be evaluated, should be taken serious, and it's all opinions at the end of the day. The guys in this building know what's going on. My teammates know what's going on. My coaching staff and my owners know what's going on. So I'm really just focused on them, man, and the people in this building, making them proud, making the franchise proud. All the outside noise, it doesn't bother me. I'm not really a big social media guy.
Javier, what's your favorite NBA team?
Oh, man. Rest in peace, Kobe, man. But back then it was the Lakers, man. And I love Bron, but, man, I was a big Kobe fan, man. And now I'm rocking with Golden State, man. So I switched up a little bit. Steph Curry fan now. So I like the Warriors, man.
The Knicks. What did Mike Brown? Did he address the team after?
Much respect to the Knicks. I didn't grow up a Knicks fan though, man. Congrats to that whole franchise and Mike Brown. He just broke the team down today. Great guy. He's been with the Warriors as well. So it's dope to see him go over there and get a win, man. And he preached a lot about culture today, and I feel like he sent a great message to the team.
All right, thanks, Jake.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Kyle, so many of your guys' teammates seem to be really genuinely excited that Debo's coming back. Where does that excitement come from?
It comes from a lot of things. Oh, wow, I didn't know this was on. Debo's the best. He's such an incredible teammate. He's such a good friend. He's an incredible football player. So we're really happy to have him in the locker room just because he brings the best vibes and positivity. But we're also happy to have him on the field because he's still got juice and he still can go out there and make good plays. He came in, he looks like he's in phenomenal shape. His first day in pads, he's making an impact right away and just looked like the old Debo. So I can't say enough positive things about how excited we are to have him.
Have you spoken to Ricky Pearsall since he got the news that he's going to have surgery?
Yeah, I have, and it's just really unfortunate how things have played out for him. I feel for him so hard because I know for him what it's frustration in that he knows that he can be a really good wide receiver in the NFL, and he's shown it. He's had some incredible games, but it's just he's been held back by these injuries in the NFL, and I know how that feels. You just want to show the world like I can do this. But it keeps kind of get taken from him. But I just try to tell him, like, his story's not over. He's going to go get it fixed this year, and he'll come back next year healthy, nothing to restrict him, and he can go out there and do what he knows he can do.
You mentioned a lot about yourself and a lot of the established veteran leaders. We know them, they speak. I'm sure the locker room is guided in a very direct way. Do you see some younger guys kind of coming up? I mean, do you need to? And do you see some of the fourth, fifth year guys really starting to maybe speak a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. It's at different times, you know. Like there's kind of times where certain people speak up, but like, you know, you'll see a lot of those fourth and fifth year guys now that are breaking down the team before we get out there and start practice, and you know, you love to see that. You love to see guys like take the initiative, go in the middle of the circle, like they have something they feel like they need to tell the team that motivate them for that day. So you just love to see guys take initiative and understand that we can all be leaders on this team. And that's actually one of the best things that I had somebody tell me years earlier when I wasn't a captain on the team, was that you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. And I think you see that with this team, that it's a room full of leaders, and whether they have a C on their chest, it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, people are going to follow the people that are doing stuff the right way and people that they respect.
Can you say who some of those guys might be?
Who's in their fourth or fifth year right now?
Quarterback.
Brock Purdy? I know that guy, yeah. Brock has been stepping up for the longest time. Brock has always been outspoken and has been an incredible leader, but you definitely see that evolution each and every year where he takes on a little bit more.
How nice is it to have Kyle back and to see him back out there? I mean, it seems like he's out there more every day, for longer periods of time.
It's great. Kyle is just so good at what he does, an incredible leader for us. So the more we can have him around, the more we can have his knowledge in the meeting rooms and all that type of stuff is better. And he seems to be getting better genuinely each and every day. I see him out there. He's out there a little bit longer. He's starting to, you can just tell that energy is coming back to him. So I feel like he's going to be back full time here pretty soon, and that's always a good thing.
What was his message on Saturday when he talked to the team?
What day was Saturday? We had some protect the team issues the practice before, so we always, that's usually something that we address almost every morning in training camp, as we watch clips from the practice before on how we can protect the team. So that he got called in because we had a number of them. So his first line of duty was to make sure that we weren't hurting each other and that we were practicing smart and helping one another out.
And then today after practice, Mike Brown, what was his message?
That was so cool. Just talking about the championship teams that he's been on, just how each and every one of them had a standard, and they had a written standard that they all signed. I guess they would all go to dinner before the season started, and they would talk about what their standard was. And he told them that I would respect you more. If you don't believe in this standard, don't sign it. But if you do, let's sign it, and that way we can hold each other accountable in the good times and most importantly in the bad times on what that standard was. And I think that spoke really well to this organization because we've always talked about having this standard here. And I think we have such a great one, and one that, like, when our head coach goes down, everyone understands what that standard is. They understand what's expected from the guy next to them, that when leaders go down, next guy in line can hop right in there, and there's not a big fall off.
Are you guys at the point in camp where you just want to do something different? Do you see guys kind of falling victim to monotony?
I mean, I'm in year 14, so I'm always looking for something new. But honestly, it's not too bad yet. We're not quite there. I have a feeling in this next block we'll start to feel that, where there's always that time in training camp. It's like, all right, I'm ready to hit somebody else other than my own teammate. So I'm sure that'll come along in the next couple days. But it's not too bad right now.
So as a leader, do you see someone and say, hey, man, we got to push through it. There's a process to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as a leader, you have to explain to the young guys. And that's the thing is with young guys, there's still so much new for them that I'm sure they're not really feeling that yet. Because, I think we finish our install today. So each and every day, like, we're not game planning for the defense. We're legitimately checking off boxes of, all right, these are the plays that we're installing today. And then after you get those 7 or 8 installs in, now you start mixing things up. So we don't even care what they're lining up across from us. Like, we're running certain plays no matter what. So each and every day, those young guys, they have new plays that they have to learn.
Kyle, you mentioned Debo, but you also have Dre back. So does it kind of feel like a reunion with unfinished business from just a couple of years ago? What you guys talking about championships?
Yeah, those are two just two bullies on the offense and the defense. Guys that set the tone, guys that really motivate others just by the way that they play, the physical nature that both of them play with, and I'm so happy to have both of them. And Dre genuinely is one of my favorite players in the NFL. Like, the way that he just goes out there with reckless abandon and just plays so physical, it genuinely motivates you. Like, one of my favorite things is seeing him making a big play while we're on the bench during games, and like that motivates us to go out there and like do the same thing. So to have both of those guys back and just knowing how talented they are, as well as what kind of leadership and motivation they bring, I just think they're incredible additions to this team.
Kyle, with the injury to Kittle, do you expect to play more tight end in September? Are you working on playing tight end?
I'm sure I'll be on the line of scrimmage a little bit more. Even if George is back, we saw a little bit more of that last season. I think I had more snaps on the line of scrimmage than I did in the backfield, and that's just kind of each and every year. I'm always kind of asked to do something a little bit differently, kind of just based on what type of roster we have. And so at this point in my career and with this organization, Christian McCaffrey's been on the team for 5 years now, and I used to be a third down back, so a number of my reps would go to that. Obviously, we're going to have Christian do that now, so I've kind of phased into more of line of scrimmage play, and I'm sure in 3 years, hopefully when I'm still doing this, I'll go somewhere else. So wherever I'm needed, I'll go out there and try to do my best.
Kyle, in training, this is the first time we as reporters in training camp have seen jog-through practice on the schedule. I mean, given your age, forgive me, but I mean, are you like sweet? Like when you heard about the jog-through practice, I mean, is that helpful?
Yeah, genuinely, I love the way this schedule has been set up so far. I think 3 days of full-speed football, in today's age, I just don't know if it makes a lot of sense because you never do that in season. Your full speed, typically Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we'll do one full speed period where we're not in pads in the red zone. So it's not even like a full speed period. So it's just kind of difficult to be asked to do something that you're never going to do the whole rest of the year. So I think it makes a lot of sense to do it the way that we've set it up. And, hopefully it leads to less injuries. I know we've had a number of guys banged up, but sometimes that can be bad luck. But I really like the change to the schedule.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
What's up, guys? Hey, how are you?
Good.
Well, do you recall this time last year where you were and what you were doing?
Yeah, I was training with my dad at a local high school and trying to get ready to get a call and be somewhere. So.
And where were you? What
Miami. Yeah, Miami. Yeah.
How much different is it taking the kicks when you have different holders? Can you feel the difference, or is the goal to have it all feel the same?
Yeah, the goal is to have it all feel the same. You know, they're both good holders, and it's been fun to watch them, you know, compete. Both really good punters, so it should be fun.
Brant said you were working through different things in the off season. What was your focus, coming into this year?
Yeah, the focus this year for sure was just some kickoffs. You know, get them in the location where Boyer wants me to get them. Just working kickoffs, and you know, I feel like I was hitting the ball well last year, so I kind of just did the same thing I did this year. Yeah.
Is it nice to have a full off season knowing who your special teams coordinator is, and then going into the season with a little bit more consistency?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it was awesome. I had a great off season. I feel like I put some good weight on, and just excited to be here and, you know, make kicks and make as many kicks as I can, so I could stay around as long as I can here. So. Yeah.
Why is it important for a kicker to put on good weight?
Yeah, you know, just late during the season, you know, having some good weight, you know, when it starts to get cold, you know, just for injury purposes, you know, hamstrings, groins, and stuff like that. So.
You had not attempted tons, relatively speaking, tons of 50-plus yard field goals up until last year. You talked about maybe that was other coaching staffs maybe didn't know, you know, about your leg, which sounds weird. But from your perspective, why were you given the opportunity to kick so many more last year?
So many more what? I'm sorry.
50-plus yard field goals.
50 plus.
Yeah.
I think it's a confidence thing. I think, you know, if your kicker's making kicks and, you know, you have confidence in the kicker and the coaches have confidence in you, they'll send you out there. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, maybe other guys disagree and be like, oh, analytics, and, you know, if he misses from here, the other team has a percentage to, I don't know, make a field goal or whatever. But in my opinion, I think it's just giving the coaches confidence, you know, that you can make that kick, not just your coaches, but your teammates, and, you know, get in a good rhythm to put yourself in that position. So.
The coaches watch a lot of film. They watch a lot of practice film. Do you watch video of yourself, or do you just rely on how it feels and how you look when you're approaching each kick?
Yeah, we definitely watch videos. You know, we watch. I like to personally watch just when I miss, because obviously when I make a kick, it feels good and it comes off the leg. I don't want to fix something that's not broken, but definitely, you know, when I miss kicks in practice and stuff, we'll go back in and see what happened. Did I hit the ball? How was the snap, hold? Different things, you know. So.
You got rewarded with the biggest contract of your career this offseason, right?
Yeah.
So I guess, what does that do in terms of pressure on you, or does that alleviate pressure that you're not like kicking for a paycheck now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always pressure, you know. I mean, you know, I thank God that, you know, I got the contract that I got, but at the end of the day, none of that matters, you know. As you know, if I keep making kicks, I'll be here, and if I don't make kicks, you know, I'm not going to be here, and that's just honestly the mindset. So.
Is that a hard thing as when you're coming out of college to grasp that it's like it's true all or nothing? You make kicks, you're here, you miss, and you're gone.
Absolutely, definitely. That's why I think it's so hard for rookies when they come in, you know. It's just such a short leash they have with kickers, you know. You miss kicks, you're gone, and it's just part of the process. And, you know, I wish I would have known that faster in my career. You know, I'm like, oh, you know, I missed one, I'm going to be okay. No, you're not going to be okay. I mean, you miss another one, you're probably going to go home. So, it's just the mindset, and just, you know, it's just part of the process. And, you know, I've been cut, I've been traded, and, you know, just with years of experience, you know, it's just part of the process. So.
When did that start clicking for you, that you could just kind of flush it and move on?
Yeah, you know, throughout my career, I've made big kicks, missed big kicks, but just ultimately, you know, like I said, it just goes back to, you know, making kicks and having your teammates there for you when you're not making kicks, and coaches there for you too, and kind of just be together as one. And I feel like this is what this team does so well, you know. Obviously, I only missed one field goal last year, but even just the one field goal I missed, I feel like everybody just got together and was like, hey, we got this. And, you know, it's just a different culture here, which is amazing to be a part of. So,
At what point in your career did you feel like you could get to that point, though? Because you mentioned, you know, earlier, not having that mentality, that mindset. When did you start thinking that way?
I think for me, it was, you know, when I got traded to Chicago. I was playing with the Raiders, and then I got traded, And it was just like, because they told me something different, like, oh, you're going to be here for a long time. We love you. You're doing well. And then out of nowhere, boom, traded. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. You told me something different. And that's when you start to learn the business of the game. And, it's just part of the process. And that's pretty much when it clicked. I'm like, okay, well, I need to make kicks, because if I'm not, I'm either going to get traded or I'm going to get cut. So something's going to happen. So, but yeah.
How much does the contract and that confidence changes once you're here? Because you come in last year, you get on that hot streak. There's only that one field goal that was actually in the game that you guys got most decided. How much is the confidence for yourself changes now that you know all these things and you see how this team is treated?
Yeah, I mean, confidence is high. I mean, yeah, just like I said earlier, just being a part of this team and just how like family orientated this team is, and how the coaches get with you and the players on the team and how they support you here, and the fan base, and me obviously being Hispanic, and a lot of fans are Hispanic here, just the love and the culture. I mean, honestly it's a dream come true, and I'm blessed I was able to sign that contract, and I feel like I'm a part of the 49ers family now, for real, so.
You like that Kittle was wearing your jersey, I think, when he was watching from home.
Yeah, he was. That was a pretty cool moment. Yeah, him and a couple guys. That was cool.
All good, guys? Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you, guys.